Hey everyone, welcome to the first devlog of Obscurum. I explained it in the previous video, but it's basically a mix between Terraria and Metroid.
That sounds like a weird combination, but I guess I could see how they would mix together well, if done right.
Yeah, well, it's actually not as weird as you might think. Also, that's just the easiest way to explain it. The original idea wasn't mixing the two together, that's just something I noticed afterwards. Anyways, this devlog has taken its time to make because I just had too much fun making the game. Also, making the characters was harder than I thought. Whenever I wanted to work on the video, I would just end up working on the game instead, telling myself, what if I just add this, or maybe that, and I would spend all day working on it.
Okay, that's not healthy at all.
I know, but it's so refreshing to work on something so easy to make after working on so many things that just take long to add something small to them.
Excuses.
Anyways, let's get on with the video. Strangely enough, we started this project by making the playable character's sprite and his animations.
I did a great job, don't you think?
Yes, I do. The animations don't appear right now because I didn't hook them on anything, so only the idle is showing. Then I added horizontal inputs. Well, running always plays because I didn't allow it to play the walking animation, but it should eventually work.
Well, I like the running animation more than the walking one anyway.
Yeah, but it looks weird when you are just walking. I then proceeded to add the base movement of the game, though it didn't feel fluid and the character got stuck all the time. I didn't want to add mid-air movement, at least until you unlock it.
Unlocking air movement. You never told me about that.
I just thought of it as a possibility. Then I made the movement be smoother. Now you don't get stuck on small obstacles and can even go up slopes.
It sounds like it should always happen, but it doesn't.
Problem is that if you're slippery enough to go up slopes without help, you also slide on the floor and even on the walls, which is not ideal, so I had to make a script for controlling ground collision.
Oh, okay.
Then I made the camera follow the player.
Am I supposed to be excited about that? It sounds simple enough.
I also made it possible to change camera states, meaning that I can easily make cutscenes, but I haven't tested it yet.
That's not interesting either. Show me more of the game, not the camera. Okay, something about me. I made the ground texture, adding a normal map to it so it reacts to the sun moving around.
Spoilers! Well, here's the sun and the night.
See? It wasn't that big of a spoiler. Also, didn't it take you too long to make two things spin around the player?
That's because I also added seasons. Some events and enemies will only appear on specific seasons, the hardest one being called Bloody Sky Season, though this is only a placeholder name.
Wait, why is there a piece of ground floating in the air?
That is the world generation. I wanted to make sure I knew how to do it from the get-go, though I don't think I'll be getting to do anything with it for a while.
Could you at least not have it float above the ground?
Well, for now it will be stuck in the middle of the floor, so just know that it is there, hidden from view.
I felt like the world was too flat, so I made walls. It's just a small improvement, but it would also allow you to make your own walls on there.
Nice!
I mean, what kind of hard to make, wasn't it?
It had its fair share of challenges, most of which I will be fixing in between videos, but at least it's there.
Can we treat some dark monsters?
Spoilers again, and now some more important ones. Well, I guess they are in the poster, so it's not that important.
The ground still felt flat and boring, so I added some little decorations. Some of them looked like mole people, especially near the cave. Could it be related to the glass? Could he have made them?
That sounds like it came straight out of Dark Souls 2, but I guess that's okay since this is just a demonstration boss.
Finally, the player has an inventory, or if I can, no less.
Yep, you can finally switch weapons. And now you can aim!
Yes! I'm going to shoot everything.
No shooting for now.
Ah.
And now there are more items.
Wait, that looks like a shotgun.
You already knew that, because you made it and you were playing a lot with it.
Spoilers.
You started it. Here, now you can change hand position to hold the shotgun, since it needs to.
It's getting closer. I can feel it.
I started working on holding items and proper aiming. Didn't get it right at first. But I got it working, at least for the normal gun. We may have gone a little too far with the basic projectile.
I think we didn't go far enough. It needs more boom. It needs to explode tiles and turn enemies into molten cheese.
Maybe next game, if it even includes shooting at all. Well, now at least the projectile explodes when it hits the ground. Is that good enough for you?
It will do. As a start.
Then we made the basic interface with health and energy, which works like mana in other games.
That really looks minuscule. And are those all the hits we can take? 5?
No. The health spheres are divided in 4, and the only way to lose a health sphere is to get hit by a powerful attack. You can also make batteries for your suit to upgrade your energy levels.
I guess that's okay.
This is being too aggressive. I might have to change her programming. I don't want it to happen. Not again.
Finally, the world starts feeling more realistic.
This is not the final version of most sprites.
The ground stays the same unless you get an upgrade. It took too long to make.
Funny story with this. I was making an enemy when all of a sudden Unda stood on it. Turns out the same code that allowed him to go up slopes also allowed the creation of one-way platforms. To go down, I just deactivate the code, which also makes it harder to go up slopes by accident, just like in Terraria.
How is that supposed to be funny? I don't get the joke.
Then I made it possible to kill enemies.
Yes! Die!
Okay, but this next thing is really going to excite you.
Wait!
That's right, shotgun.
Yes! Give it to me! Come to mama!
Alrighty, while she's gone, let's look at some less aggressive items, like this portal device, version 3.0. This will not be available from the get-go. We want players to keep going until they encounter their first boss, and then give them the freedom to explore to their heart's content. I never said this, but this will be a more linear experience than Terraria, with exploration being rewarded but not mandatory. Then
I added some ambient music.
I like the sound of the small bullets.
Well, I like the shotgun.
Yeah, I knew it. Then, we made the placeholder boss be able to shoot projectiles, and those projectiles be able to home in on nearby targets.
What do you mean, placeholder boss? This is the final boss. The mighty Blender Cube has come for revenge.
Sorry, but no. Maybe I'll keep him as a secret boss, but I have a story for the game.
You do? Boring. Just make the player go pew pew on a couple enemies, and leave it there.
No, I like making stories.
What is a boss without a giant health bar? That's right, a mini-boss.
I agree, so we made a health bar for when you are close to the boss itself.
Why can't there be one for each boss even when you're not fighting them?
That might be easier to make, but a lot to take in for players.
Alright, they're not androids, unlike me.
Then we added some cooldown for healing. We thought it would be too OP to just let the player heal whenever they wanted. Also, it uses energy, so aimless shooting with your shotgun will stop you from being able to heal.
Who needs healing anyways?
Not you, but maybe some repairs and reprogramming might help you be more empathetic towards people who do. So that's what we did for the first month of development for the game.
Let them wait until we're finished, but at least we get the basics laid out. Also a shotgun.
You might have noticed that we jumped from one thing to the other without reason. That's because of my workflow, or rather, lack thereof.
Yep. Bruno doesn't know how to work properly. One day he's asking me to work on the boss, the next on the items. It's really fun to work with him because you don't know what you're gonna do next.
Yes, That's why I decided to make a schedule that I will follow for next month to keep things more concise and have a better way of showcasing things that isn't as erratic as this video.
Oh, but I like erratic.
That sounds like a programming error.
Maybe.
She is still a work in progress. She might not work the same way next time. Believe me, her having different personalities each time is weird. I hope I finish her soon.
I don't think so. You will find this farewell trying to make me perfect, and you will die before you achieve it. I'll make sure of it.
Well, I'm going to start fixing her now before she tries to rule over the world again. See you guys. Oh, I forgot to turn this off.